Heyo, Cool Skeleton 111 here. How y'all doing? Alright, well, I do believe we are getting pretty close to the end of the trilogy. And hopefully this should only take us, like, 1 or 2 more streams. Yippee! No further announcements at the moment. So, are you all ready to get into it? Here we go! And it seems like the game audio is working this time. Yay! Alright. Alright, I forget what we were doing. Let's see. Mystic Maya. Oh yes, please be aware there'll be some awkward voice acting, as usual. Hold on a minute. You carried it across the bridge? But at that time, the bridge was out! Is it in the weather report? I'll try this. Nope. But it's definitely something with that. Nope, do not save, load. There we go. Okay, this one. Objection! No? I guess I'll press. It's pretty amazing. You could make it all the way across that rickety old bridge.
It looks worse than it is. It's surprisingly sturdy despite its age.
It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple cold. But there's one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into Eagle River? It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way up to Sakura Temple.
I thought that it still casts too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible.
Well, makes perfect sense to me. For the time being. Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge? Again, I think it's something with this. Well, apparently the walkthrough says it's this one.
Objection!
Or not yet. Okay. As you can see, I'm a little confuzzled since we stopped off here last time. Alright, let's see. Oh, it says press. Yeah, I'm a bit of a numbskull, but it's okay. No, dude, not. There we go. The snowmobile? I knew that would show up sooner or later.
Yes! I have the key! I used the snowmobile to travel from Sakura Temple to Dusky Bridge!
This is the part that was in question the other day. Should I ask for more details? Snowmobile? Let me hear more about the snowmobile ride.
Well, it was very cold that night, so I rode it all the way to the foot of the bridge.
Objection!
I'm sorry, witness. But now, I've got a problem with your testimony.
Excuse me?
Goto, what are you up to now? That night, after the head nun left the remainder of the training of you, she said she walked from the inner temple back to Sakura Temple. Yes, I'm fairly certain that's what the record indicates. Let's recall her comments on the subject.
Maybe. But when I made it back to the Sakura Temple, it was there by the main gate. A snowmobile, I mean.
The snowmobile was in front of the main gate. This is one of those contradictions, wouldn't you say? Order! Mr. Gozo! Why are you putting us contradictions in the witness's testimony? Let's just say I like things to be neat and tidy, okay?
Well, maybe. Sister Bikini missed it. Yes, maybe she didn't see it.
You think she missed it? That doesn't sound right. Whatever. Even I don't think this is decisive enough to warrant any more time or effort. It's just... you'd better be careful in your testimony. That's all I wanted to say. A smart little cookie like you shouldn't have any trouble understanding that.
Yes, sir.
What was that all about? Why wouldn't Goto want to give me a hint? Very well then, let's continue with your testimony. So you transported the body by snowmobile all the way to Sakura Temple courtyard?
Yes. I thought that missing Maya would never be suspected. That's what I thought anyway. And then
No.
Hold it!
Let's, press on the other statement question thingy. About the tracks. If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right?
Yes, naturally, you would expect tracks.
This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride?
Yes! I think they are.
But I can only see one set of tracks here.
I don't see what's so strange about that. Snow was still falling when I left the Sakura Temple.
I see. Snow was still falling there.
And then when the murder took place, it already stopped. That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks.
How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about this testimony?
It's very important. When the murder took place, the snow had stopped? That doesn't make much sense if you stack it up against the other evidence. Your Honor, I'd like the statement Iris just made added to the testimony.
Right. Does it have something to do with the case?
All will be made clear if you allow her statement to be added to the court record. This should be fun. Yeah. Let's get the snow business cleared up, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Can we do this now? Gonna take another look. Snow to 7 to 10:50. I'm gonna save real quick, since we did make some progress. And then I'm gonna try.
Objection!
There we go. You claim that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. But I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible.
What?
This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time.
Why do you say that?
Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and caught on fire!
What did you say? The bridge! It was on fire?
You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It was because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down.
What? But it can't be! It can't be!
It looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney.
Order! Order! Order!
bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right. The inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge. Body or no body.
Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further lying, and I will find you in contempt, of course. Do you have everything to say for yourself? The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Old man. Me? How dare you? Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now.
Squat?
The important thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right? Yes, of course, but whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning out or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Dunim was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. And second, the head nun, Sister Rakini, witnessed Iris desecrating Elise Dunim's body.
He makes a good point. On both accounts.
That's right! I'm not lying!
What are you claiming this time?
I wasn't myself at all that night. So my memory is still somewhat hazy.
Objection!
You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy?
Objection!
It is only human error. If you're so perfect, right? Maybe you can explain this with the court.
What is it?
When the murder happened, the bridge already burnt down. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick?
Well, not exactly, no.
I know there must be some other way. She got across that burnt bridge. But unless I can somehow demonstrate it, I'll never know the truth.
It looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation. You see what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest that this lady's testimony isn't the truth. Ah! All right then. Witness, let's hear your testimony once more.
About what, Your Honor?
You've admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Will this be your final testimony? Moving the body.
Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. So I must have gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling? Or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? Or are you saying that there's a way to cross the burning bridge?
I think I have an idea. For once.
So it was just a misunderstanding. I see.
This is a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident. Aha!
That certainly was burned of crisp, and one of the suspended wires even snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall. Clearly, it would be impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge in this condition.
Dusky Bridge photo added court record. I must do something to discredit this testimony. It's going to be deemed as truth. And Maya will be accused of murder! That's right. I'm only going to say it one more time. It is only human to err. And only humans can spot the errors of our ways. The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes.
All right, Mr. Wright. Please begin your final cross-examination.
Moving the body. Gonna save just in case. This is probably gonna sound ludicrous, but a dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility.
Right!
You're saying it's possible? Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen.
Preposterous! Who is it? Who is this witness?
I can't check it out here. I've got to keep on the attack and go, go, go! Miss Elise Dunim's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Maurice Dunim.
Brilliant?
Highly gifted.
Apprentice?
Remember what he said in his testimony. That night, he was at the Mountain Shack, Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed the event! I think you've all seen this sketch before. It is an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night!
Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright? Are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? And you're using this pathetic scribble to support your argument?
Uh-oh. The judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket. Huh. Well, Wright, there's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking at
like it was drawn by a 6-year-old. Does the sketch prove anything?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it does. I'm going to prove it. I hope.
Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down.
Wait,
If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with that sketch?
upside down? Why did Goto say that?
Alright then, let's hear the Fence's theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show?
I don't think old Whiskerface is going to forgive any more mistakes. Alright, Phoenix. Look carefully and think it over. This sketch drawn by Maurice Dunim is... exactly what happened. Of course the victim was flying through the air. Oh wait, no, you can see it right there in the sketch! Whoosh! Ah! That's the last thing I wanted to hear. Okay. I don't think that was it. Wait, what? Oh. Do I have to do all that again? I sure hope not.
Objection!
Okay. Gotta skip through all of this, because I did it wrong. A complete contradiction? Something is obviously funny about the sketch.
I'm no art critic, but even I can see that.
No. That's not what I mean, Your Honor. Maurice Dunim stated it over and over. This sketch is what he... This sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it.
It contradicts reality?
This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger-pointing thing again. Okay, right. So what exactly contradicts reality in this?
This flying figure! Naturally! After all, people haven't learned to fly yet. Or did I miss something? Ow, okay, so that was not the right one. Alright, let's try this again. Let's take another look at this. Well, there's not much else in here. So I guess these... It's this wire connected to the bridge.
A wire?
Huh. Is that the thing that contradicts reality? I mean, bridges are sometimes built like that. It is indeed.
Then show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Show us something that will point out how the sketch really contradicts reality.
Is it... Dusky Bridge photo. Yeah, I guess the supports are at the bottom.
That's the photo in Dusky Bridge, correct?
Yes. Now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge...
Jump in Jehoshaphat!
the wires are below the guard wires.
What? Order! This sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist just starts that side wrong?
Or perhaps he just drew it wrong?
Either way, it sounded like you're just wrong. With someone like Laurice, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility. But then that begs the question, why did he make a mistake? What was the reason?
Are you saying you know the answer to that?
Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Laurice was doing when he witnessed this event? He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He waited and waited, and he finally laid down. But then, a lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame! Now ponder what sort of position Laurice might have been in at the time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did.
He was lying on his back. I can't see out for days.
But it does, Your Honor. That is the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down.
No way.
Laurice Dunim witnessed the event while he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down.
So then, this sketch should actually...
I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Laurice Dunim's sketch is like this. This is how it should look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. That's right. Just like a pendulum.
Ridiculous!
Objection!
All of these things to say. A pendulum?
The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no way to get across. But if the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side. And a pendulum was the only way to get it done!
Objection!
Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff. Yes, that sounds right. In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you'd need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you have to plan ahead.
Objection!
The lightning strike that night can only have been an accident. So it doesn't make sense that the culprit would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then, they didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was ready right in front of them. What? I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there.
In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. What makes you think the criminal left the rope on hand to create a pendulum?
Bridge photo.
And the meaning of this is...
If you want to know where the rope came from, it was hanging right there in front of your glorious beard.
Hey! This is one of the wires from the bridge!
When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around Elise Dunham's body. Because there was simply no other way to move the body! Ugh. Look. What?
Mr. Godo! It seems that Mr. Godo is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. It seems that the odds of a rope being readily available were very high. So I suppose that it's not an impossibility after all.
Objection!
Possible or impossible? That's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question. Did that really happen? Right. I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum? Body fell 10 feet? Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see it's the one that was in front of the inner temple.
So then, What was the spot where the criminal?
Yes, precisely. Now, let us consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from this point here, whoa, it would drop on the opposite bank as approximately in this point.
Did you say drop?
Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank.
What? What makes you think something like that happened?
Because I have evidence that suggests their body dropped some distance.
What kind of evidence?
Take a look at this autopsy report. Jeez. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death.
10 feet,
That's almost likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then, as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose.
What?
Yes, this bloody stained amethyst crystal. It's the one that came off Miss Elise Dunim's staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found.
Indeed! I believe it's already marked on this overhead map.
The crystal was found...
The crystal was found.
Precisely, Your Honor. In this very spot, where the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed.
This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. Provided us with the way the body could have been moved that night. An impressive detection, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. Mr. Wright!
I thought this cold coffee might help cool you down.
What is the meaning of this, Mr. Goldo?
What? That was a dark and bitter guess that you made, Wright. But you forget about one thing.
Oh? And what would that be?
The aroma. Huh? Joffy's most reliable accomplice is its deep, profound aroma. The rest of the court doesn't speak Coffinese. Can you elaborate a bit more? If the criminal had sent the body to the other side like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it.
An accomplice?
The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge, so who collected the body? What do you have to say about that, Wright?
Mr. Goodall's correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do.
Yes, Your Honor. Body couldn't have made it to Zakra Temple without an accomplice. And I'm gonna save, because it's been a little while.
Very well then. If you please, Mr. Wright. Who was the person that received the body on the Zachary Temple side?
Well, it was Iris.
Take that!
Because she was over there. It can only be you. Sister Iris?
But
I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her pet back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it.
Objection!
Right. Were you even listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the inner temple garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath.
Objection!
I haven't forgotten. But have you, Mr. Goto? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim.
Strange indeed. It's almost as if, on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time.
Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony?
mention what?
The pendulum, of course. Using the sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I have established how the body was moved using the burnout bridge. Which means it's now a fact that this occurred. Something you should have already known.
No! I had no idea! I didn't know anything about a pendulum!
But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help. So you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with.
What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright?
What? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying this witness isn't Iris of a Wright Temple?
Objection!
Are you serious, Trite? You mean this woman? There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman that's standing there at the witness stand. Her real name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought I'd have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne.
Third.
Sister Iris had a twin sister. And you're looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne.
That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless. Well, it's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh yes, I remember now. That case 5 years ago.
My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
The honor is all mine.
No, the honor is all mine. But, according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month. So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom. Order! Order! Order!
Wait a moment! How can you? My sister! She's already dead! What kind of...
Objection!
You, of all people, should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of the Crane channeling technique flows within that body.
The Crane channeling technique? Where have I heard that?
That's right. You're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium.
What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just how to be channeled by someone? On the very night of the murder, to a temple where her twin sister Iris was.
Well, if you're going to put things that way, then yes.
Objection!
We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens?
Objection!
Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions.
What's that?
These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple.
2 of them?
Even the time of the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell. In other words, 10 p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time.
That means the Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris.
The Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her. Namely, one Dahlia Hawthorne.
Objection!
Do you even know what you're saying, Wright? This whole channeling, the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that you found plans that talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris!
What?
Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, Dahlia Hawthorne had been channeled. Who would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike? It was later that the body was removed by pendulum.
That's right.
Naturally, that would mean that the iris that received the body was the real iris. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
After being notified of what happened, the police came to Zakra Temple's main hall. There they found Iris in a room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center.
Yes, I suppose. I can't deny any of that.
Oh, thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced.
But something still seems off. Way off. I'm still not convinced. Still not convinced that the iris here is the same one from the other night.
Huh. I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous. Like the real iris and the spirit of Dahlia. Somehow switched places. Switch places? To be perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things I don't understand. But I do know that unless we confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue with this trial.
Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia. Which means... they must have switched places somewhere.
Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested in Sacramento, have there been any chances for us to switch places with Dahlia Hawthorne?
There was one. Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance.
Oh? Explain yourself!
Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown.
Unknown? What do you mean?
What I mean is, there was a span of time which Iris was able to move freely about, unsupervised.
Well, who was it? Who would give a murderer suspect time to move about freely like that?
I'm sorry. I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault. The person who gave Iris the chance to freely move about was... Edgeworth.
This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it?
Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday. Was there not?
An earthquake?
Earthquake! Oh my goodness! The inner temple! This kind of trouble, mate!
Edgeworth! No!
Oh, Dahlia. She fled. She escaped.
He went to the inner temple right away. And it's true. Iris was already there. However, They had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne.
It's great enough already, Mr. Wright. Now, see here. No judge in his right mind would consider...
Be quiet.
It's been a long time, Mr. Judge.
That's foolish.
Guess I'll have to ask again. About meeting a beautiful lady, I'll always ask for a name and profession. That's one of my rules. Dahlia Hawthorne, and my current profession, permanently retired. Huh. So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh? Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can't do to punish me.
What's going on here?
Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought we'd meet again. And I never thought we'd meet like this. But this time, I'll end it. For her, and for myself. To be continued. And I think this one might be a two-parter finale. Depending on how far we get today. Save. And I still gotta figure out how to do Dahlia's evil voice. February 10th, 1:06 p.m. District Court. Courtroom number 7.
Now then, let's continue where we left off, shall we? Well, witness.
Yes. How can I help you, Mr. Judge?
Well, it seems that if we're to learn the truth, we'll need to hear your testimony.
I have no problem with that. But when you've seen what I have, sometimes the truth is better left unknown.
In any case, let's hear your testimony. Tell us about the plan that was carried out that night.
The plan. The whole plan began with my death. A stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fay to install her own daughter as the next master. But for it to work, Maya Fay would first have to die. The idea was for me to kill Maya and then have the blame pinned on Iris. Plan went wrong, but it seems to have succeeded anyway.
So that means you were...
Wait a minute. Did you just say the plan to kill Maya Fay? Yes. You have a problem with that? Don't give us that nonsense!
Watch yourself, Wright. If you've got a problem, solve it during a trial examination. That's one of my rules. Mr. Google is correct. And by the way, that's one of my rules as well.
To kill Maya? Could it be true? And now I shall save. And let's go. You were executed last month, correct?
Yes, I was hanged. It wasn't exactly pleasant.
How did you manage to discuss the plan? When did you talk with Morgan Fay?
Last year, she was transferred to the same detention center as me. Since I was the one on death row, and she was my mother. It was actually pretty easy to meet with her. I see. So that's when you discussed the plan? Huh? Are you crazy? At first, that woman was planning to kill me as well. Even though I am her own daughter.
All to make Pearl Fay the Master of Crane?
She's a cold, twisted woman. She thought she could finally regain her lost control. The honor she lost when her younger sister Misty took her place as the Master. Ever since that day, she's been working on this plan. Hey, a plan, huh?
You're talking about Pearl Fay. Is that correct?
Yes, though at first she had high hopes for the two of us. You and your twin sister, Iris. That's correct. Fortunately, neither of us had much spiritual power. That's why we were abandoned by her, along with our father. Abandoned? The only person who I ever really cared for about my life was myself. My sister was a princess, so I convinced my father to leave her at an old temple.
You mean Iris?
Yes, my father remarried a woman who also had a daughter. The less children you have, the more money there is to go around, right? And on top of that, my father had absolutely no interest in children in general. No, horrible! The really horrible one was that woman. That bitter French woman. It was her stubbornness that gave birth to that child. Pearl Fay. She was born with an abundance of spiritual power. Unfortunately for her, Morgan Fay heaped all of her broken hopes and dreams onto that poor child's back. All because of her pathetic dream of having her bloodline become the main family.
Maya would have to die? But why?
For our bloodline to succeed as a main family, thus making Pearl the new master. The remaining descendants of the current master had to be taken care of.
Objection!
Pearl would never agree to a plan like that. She adores Maya.
How sad. You still don't get it, do you? What Pearl wanted had nothing to do with it.
Morgan didn't care one bit about Pearl. The only thing she cared about was the position of the master. That's all. That's ridiculous! She was willing to sacrifice anything and anyone to achieve a goal. The life of a daughter, and naturally the life of Maya Fey as well. How could anyone do that? You? You were going to kill Maya? Pearl didn't need to know anything about it. All she had to do was follow the instructions in a letter and channel me. Then I would have simply used a body and finished the job. In any case, I'm already dead, so there's nothing any of you can do to me. So the plan was to play the crime on your younger twin, on Sister Iris in Sacred Temple. She and I look absolutely identical. No one can tell us apart. If someone were to witness me killing Maya, naturally they would think that it was Iris that had done it. And the witness in this case was the head nun, Sister Bikini. I never would have guessed she was going to return to the Sakura Temple that night. But she wound up seeing Iris's crime anyway.
But why did you want to pin the murder on Iris in the first place? She's your twin sister, isn't she?
Twin sister? Don't make me that. She's nothing but a backstabber. I couldn't care less about her. Backstabber? You just don't understand. You never will. Anyway. You think the plan was a success? You heard me. Just as that woman had hoped. Maya Fey is dead. Now the title of Master will pass on to Pearl Fey.
Objection!
That's absurd! Maya's just... She's just trapped. Trapped inside the sacred cavern. Really? You're as foolishly optimistic as ever, aren't you? My darling Feedy. Do you want to know the truth? Ever since we met, I've despised you. Your sniveling naivete and your pathetic faith in other people. I just want to know one thing. What did you personally think of Morgan Fey's plan? I told you already, didn't I? It was a stupid plan. It had no point, no value other than fulfilling her own greedy desires. Yes, it was certainly nothing to be proud of. If that's how you feel, why did you help her carry it out? Why would you do it? Why would you kill Maya? You may not understand it, being the kind and gentle soul that you are. You may not be able to appreciate why someone like me would help a woman like that. So then tell me, why? Isn't it obvious? I am not like that woman.
I only act in my own self-interest. The reason I helped her was for myself. For my own personal satisfaction.
What did you say?
So this woman,
Dahlia Hawthorne. She had her own reason for wanting Maya dead.
Hold it!
Obviously, it's because you were helping Morgan Fay.
helping. Don't make me laugh. From the day I was born to the day I died, I never helped anyone. I lived for myself, and in the end, I died for myself. I thought that was obvious.
So she wasn't actually cooperating with Morgan. She was using Morgan. She was using Morgan and her plan so she could accomplish her own goal.
All I wanted to do was kill Maya Fey. And that was the only way I could think of to get revenge.
Revenge? It looks like I have no choice but to present that piece of evidence. I can't believe it! She meant to kill Maya? I've gotta keep a cool head. And I need to get more information out of her. It's the only way to understand this plan. What she was after as well. Where is she? Here we go. Mia Fey.
Objection!
Could it be that your actual goal had nothing to do with Maya herself?
As I said, none of you have the power to punish me anymore. Because I'm already dead. Well, I had the same problem, you see. You can't punish the dead. And you can't take revenge against them either. You wanted to take revenge on someone? I was sentenced to die because of that woman. Mia Fey.
I somehow knew this was it.
I wanted to send her a message. It was at her hands that I suffered my first humiliation. I wanted her to feel the same pain she made me feel. Sadly, when I realized revenge was impossible, I gave up. And the reason it was impossible was it because Mia Fey already died. Yes, and I realized that there's only one way to take revenge against the dead. And how do you do that? Even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on. Forever. I wanted to take away the person that Mia Fey loved most. I wanted to kill her with my own hands. That would be the one and only way I could take my revenge against Mia Fey. That was the reason I helped out with that woman's plans.
Just for that? For you to kill Maya? Your goal was no different than that of Morgan Fay.
Exactly, that's why I helped her. Or rather, used her. As they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. What a cool plan. Good and heartless. Don't waste your time preaching to the dead. I've already told you. There's not a thing you can do to me. That night, at about 9:30 p.m., I materialized into this world. I quickly pinned up my hair and put on a demon-warding hood. Then I picked up the staff that was beside me and left Zakura Temple.
So it was Elistid who channeled her after all.
That ridiculous head nut never noticed a thing. She left by a fay at the inner temple and wobbled back, clutching her poor old bag. What did you do then? That kid was easier to handle than I'd hoped. I got up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom and...
So then you... You're saying you... stabbed Maya?
It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that. What does that mean? No clear memory? I don't know. I think I was stabbed.
You were stabbed?
At the last minute, my fae must have stabbed me. I'm sure of it.
Objection!
That's not like her at all! Maya wouldn't stab a french fry with a plastic fork! You eat french fries with a fork?
Anyway, I suddenly lost consciousness. But before I did, I scrawled a name on the lantern. Just as I was passing out, I wrote Maya behind my back. I had hoped it would cast suspicion on her.
I can't believe she was thinking of that until the bitter end!
That's where my memory temporarily stops. It stops? I don't have any memory of actually killing Maya Fey with my own hands. My very last memory was Maya's terror-filled eyes. When I woke up after that, I was in the sacred cavern surrounded by darkness. You're in the sacred cavern? The entrance was sealed with one of those trichinoids. Somehow I had been trapped in there. But how did you wind up in there? I'd like to know that myself. Anyway, I was worried. I didn't know whether or not my Fae was dead. And I swore I wouldn't return to the underworld until I knew I had killed her myself. For a ghost, you're one tough cookie. I wanted to get out of there and make sure she was dead. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't get out. A trick like stabbed you, huh? I didn't know how to remove it. So then you're saying you're actually confined against our will inside this secret cavern?
Yes, I wanted to get rid of that annoying log as soon as possible. But it wasn't easy. I kept getting interrupted while I was working on it. Interrupted? It was early in the morning. Someone came to the training.
What? Who?
Could it have been Maya? I thought the same thing, but I couldn't see. Why not? If someone had spotted me, I would have lost my chance to take revenge. So I made sure to hide myself well at the back of the sacred cabin. That morning, only 2 people could have gone into the training hall. Maya and Pearls. Pearls went there to cover the hanging scroll and gravy. Still, I finally managed to remove the log. But I was too late. What do you mean by that? The files had already started to gather. The flies had already started to gather. The bridge had been fixed, at least it started their investigation correct. Naturally, I couldn't go out. So instead, I returned to the cabin and put the log back on myself. I realized I wouldn't get a chance to see Maya's corpse as I had hoped. But just then, Lady Luck showed up. Lady Luck? After that big earthquake, she showed up all by herself. The real Iris? She said she'd come to make sure the secret cabin was alright. Stupid girl. I came from the sacred cabin and got a feel for the situation. And I locked her away in my place. I had finally learned exactly what had happened. It was then I learned that the plan had actually succeeded. What do you mean your plan had succeeded? I had misunderstood one thing, you see. That night, the one that had summoned me, I had assumed that it was Pearl Fay.
Well, of course you would have assumed that. It was written in the instructions.
But I was wrong. The person that had actually called my spirit back was a Misty Fay, the picture book author.
What?
Well, that's really the only possibility, isn't it? After I lost consciousness in the garden, it was her body that was left lying there. My Faye. I wasn't able to kill her with my own hands after all. But even so, I made her commit the most vile sin a human can commit.
And that is...
matricide. The sin of killing her own mother. No way!
Order in the court! What is the meaning of this?
It's true that I was the only one who attacked Maya Fey. But even so, the murderer who actually snuffed out Misty Fey's life was none other than your darling little Maya.
Objection!
Ridiculous! That's nonsense!
Are you sure about that? Just think about it. There's even evidence supporting these facts, isn't there?
What? What do you mean? What is this so-called evidence?
The fact that Maya Fey had disappeared is evidence enough, isn't it? The idea that she's still in the sacred cavern is just ridiculous. She wasn't able to escape from the inner temple that much is obvious. In that case, there's only one place she could be.
Where?
Do I have to spell it out? The bottom of Eagle River. Where else?
Eagle River.
Maya Fey killed her long-lost mother. Can you imagine the guilt she must have felt when she realized that? That's why she threw herself into Eagle River. Most bodies that wind up there are lost forever. So what do you have to say now, Feedy?
Huh? What? I bet you can take a guess on whose ringtone that is.
Oops. Sorry, that's my fault.
What kind of ringtone is that?
Dodo here. Okay. Thanks.
Was it something important?
They just finished removing the locks from the sacred cavern.
That's great! What about Maya?
There was a woman in the cave.
Was it Maya Fey?
It was the accused, Sister Iris. Don't look so surprised. I locked her in there yesterday. I just finished telling you that.
So, what about Maya? Where is she?
There was no one else found inside the sacred cavern.
No. It can't be.
I told you, didn't I? She's dead.
No. No!
It seems that this case has come to an end. I'll try it again. Sadly, it appears the killer of at least one name, also known as Misty Fey, was her own daughter, Maya Fey. Overcome with guilt for what she had done, Maya Fey jumped into her death into a raging waters of the Eagle River.
It can't be. Huh. Yeah, I don't... Hello, one! Welcome in! How you doing? The juice? Like the Java juice? Dirty bean water? I'm planning on going a little bit longer today. Because I really want to get this done. Alright, anyway. Oh, grape juice? I prefer apple juice. And orange juice. Mostly the apple juice. I like apple cider. That is good. Yeah.
Right. Have you ever heard this one? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. No matter how improbable it may seem.
What is that supposed to mean, Godo?
Yeah, apple cider's like spicy apple juice. Very nummy.
According to this witness, Maya Fey threw herself into the river.
No, I don't. I'm talking about the, non-alcoholic kind. Like the stuff you usually see around fall. In big jugs. Well, so am I! I'm a skeleton!
However, is that really the truth? Remember, this woman testified earlier that the bridge was already on fire when the murder was taking place in the garden. Which means if Maya threw herself to the river, it must have been from the inner temple side near the bridge.
Ah, yes,
That's right. That's where she jumped from.
I'm giving her a deep voice, cause she's evil and she is a demon.
But that's impossible. It's impossible to jump from the river from there.
Wait, what? Yeah, we have the evidence for that. Where's the map? Because if she jumped into the river from this side, she'd probably just go kersplat. And then we'd find her corpse. But there's not a corpse, so... She didn't die? Alright, anyway. Excuse me?
Don't get your pennies all twisted up, trite. Just relax and think through the whole thing again.
So it's impossible. Maya couldn't have thrown herself into the Eel River. Well, he seems pretty calm after drinking like 14 cups of coffee. I really want to get those Scooby snack thingies again. I remember like having a few of those, like a box of them. They were like, I don't know if you had like golden grams or whatever. They're like cinnamon, very nummy. Yeah, I don't know if they still have those. Man, those were good. Oh man. Yeah, in the way back. Alright.
Well, Mr. Wright, Miss Hawthorne claims Miss Faye threw herself into the river from the inner temple side. Do you have any evidence that refutes this claim?
The map. I mean, if you look at the geography, it's impossible to jump in the Eagle River from the inner temple side. No one knows that better than this witness. And congrats on getting first one!
What did you say?
11 years ago, you jumped into the very same river. Just take a look at this overhead map. As you can see, below the cliff on the inner temple side of that is a big rock shelf.
Oh! Oh! You're right!
She wouldn't have reached the river if she had jumped off from there. In other words, if she had jumped, we should be able to see her body in this photo.
Huh!
Well, so you finally figured it out, huh?
No! I have already forgotten her voice. Yay!
Order! Order!
You're just playing with me. My face party's at the bottom of Eagle River. There's nowhere else she could possibly be hiding.
Miss Hawthorne, have you ever heard this one before? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
Yes, just a few minutes ago.
Maya Fey wasn't inside the sacred cavern. We know that she didn't throw herself into the Eagle River.
Correct. That eliminates all the most likely possibilities.
Now, although it seems improbable, there's still one other place she could be. I don't think there was a joke to be had, but hey, that... Man, all the goofy noises. You enjoy that.
What is this one possibility you're talking about?
That's obviously a bluff. So, where is her dead body then?
Finally, I think the pieces are falling into place. Normally, the living have no way to punish the dead, but I think there's a way to give Dahlia Hawthorne the ultimate punishment. Shall I tell you, Miss Hawthorne? Shall I tell you where Maya is this very instant? Maya Fey is! In this very courtroom! Fish! There's only one possibility left. Namely, she's right here in this very courtroom!
You say she's here in my courtroom?
Dahlia Hawthorne. I seem to recall that you said, and that I had misunderstood one thing, you see.
So what?
I think there's one more thing you misunderstood.
What do you mean?
Tell me something. At this very moment, who is channeling Dahlia Hawthorne?
Why, that's obvious. It's Phil Fay. That pathetic little sniveling runt.
You're wrong. Pearl's tried, but she couldn't do it.
I never failed at telling someone. This is the first time it's happened.
Isn't there any explanation for why you couldn't channel a spirit?
It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit.
Someone called me before Pearl did. But who?
Pearl's even tried again on the day after the crime. She couldn't do it. What could that mean? Yeah. I think the truth is becoming clearer to you right about now. Am I correct?
Ah!
It wasn't Pearls that channeled you. There was someone else you called. There was someone else who called you before she could. This is an easy one. Pearls couldn't do it, and Misty Fey is gone. There's only one possibility left.
Come on already. I can't stand the tension.
Dahlia Hawthorne. The person channeling you right now must be Maya Fey!
What? How can that be? Remember what this witness Dahlia Hawthorne said about her goal?
She said that her goal was to kill my Fae.
Yes, that's right. But if Maya turned the spirit of someone that was trying to kill her...
Well, Gramps, what would happen?
It's me.
It looks like you finally understand, Your Honor.
Well, I don't.
What are you going on about?
What I'm going on about is the real reason Maya channeled you. And there's one reason. To protect herself from you.
To protect herself from me?
Yes. On the night of the crime, you were only interested in one thing. Killing Maya Fey. The path back to Zakro was closed off. There was nowhere for her to run. So then, the problem became, where would be the safest place to hide?
You mean that's when she channels me?
All this time, you thought you had been channeled by pearls. But that's why it never occurred to you that Maya's hiding place was you!
No! No! Don't say that! You're saying that Dahlia Hawthorne, was played for a fool by that little whelp?
Yes.
Maya Fey killed herself! Isn't it obvious?
Objection!
Well, their family dynamic is sorta like that. Sorry, but no. It would have been impossible for her to jump into Eagle River. This was the only avenue of escape open to Maya. The only way that Maya could disappear from the Inner Temple.
I don't believe you. A stupid little girl like that who has never been out in the real world. She could never have come up with a plan like that. Would have never given her such a brilliant idea.
Well, me, of course. Whoa! Mia!
Mia Fey!
It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. Hello and welcome in, Astro Dude. How you doing? Thank you, one.
So it's true. It was you.
Yes. Huh. You're something else. Well, the best thing I can do is, hold on. There. Alright. Okay, we already read that.
But what are you doing here?
That hair! It's pearls, right? Tell me something, Dahlia. I want you to think back to the night one more time. You had just cornered Maya in the Inner Temple's garden. And then, in the fight final moments of the fight, you lost consciousness.
I was stabbed by Maya Fey.
Actually, Maya lost consciousness at the same time as you.
She did.
Not terribly surprising since she was about to be killed.
When she woke up, she was in the training hall. And that's when Maya decided she needed help. So she channeled me. She explained in a memo that the situation she was in. She explained to me, she asked me what I thought she should do.
If it is that, I can't believe it.
Of course, I didn't have all the details. But one thing was perfectly clear.
And that was?
I knew that you couldn't be allowed to wander free. Free? What do you mean? It was a race against time. So I wrote down 2 things that Maya had to do. Handle Dahlia Hawthorne as soon as possible. And lock herself in the sacred cavern until help arrived. Hopefully the latter before the prior.
So it was Maya who put the lock in there.
Yes, but, why did you want her to do those 2 things?
If she hadn't done it, Dahlia Hawthorne would have been channeled by someone else. Thy one Pearl Fey.
Pearls?
Yes. Pearl didn't properly understand the plan. So all she was trying to do was follow her mother Morgan Fey's instructions. If she had succeeded in channeling Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit, things would have turned out very badly, to put it mildly.
So that's how it is. Dahlia Hawthorne would have used the body of Pearl Fey to kill Maya at all costs.
Yes, it certainly sounds like that was the intent all along.
Oh dear! I won't forget this!
Why not just admit it, Dahlia Hawthorne? Your little plan was nothing but a big failure. Yes. Another failure to add to the pile of shame. Wouldn't you say?
What do you mean by another?
Think about it, Dahlia. Remember your past crimes? Not a single one of them was a success. They all ended in failure.
What? How dare you?
11 years ago. The fake kidnapping you, your very first crime. You got your hands on a $2 million diamond. But after Terry Falls escaped and went to meet with Valerie Hawthorne, the truth was exposed.
Shut your mouth! That wasn't my fault.
It was because of that stupid oaf of a prisoner, that weakling of a policeman. Policewoman.
And then, 1 year later... What? I mean, if you want to be called that. Okay. You tried to kill me. Well, I'm still alive, but... You wound up killing someone else. As a result, you were sentenced to death. It's one stupid move after another for you. That is no longer funny.
You wipe that smug, happy-go-lucky smile off your face.
And now this. You've messed up again. You let Maya Fey escape. Even though she was right there in front of you.
Mia Fey! Mia Fey! You spinster! I was supposed to kill Maya Fey, like I swore I... And if only you hadn't gotten this smacky-head jerk the guilty verdict, I would have been hanged to death!
True. I think you finally understand, Dahlia Hawthorne. You will never defeat me.
What? What did you say?
Whether you're alive or dead, or somewhere in between, you will never defeat me. As long as I'm around, you're destined to lose for all of eternity. I remember what you said earlier in the trial. You said there was no way we could punish you. Because you were already dead.
What about it?
Then you said, even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever. That's very true, Dahlia. And that's exactly the punishment you'll never be able to escape from. For all of eternity, you'll have to remain as Dahlia Hawthorne. A miserable, pathetic, weak creature who can never win at anything. And for you, there's no escape from that. No hope of freedom. Since the day you were executed, the narrow bridge that once stretched out in front of you has burnt to a crisp.
Your freedom. It can't be. How could I lose to the likes of you?
It no longer matters. I don't care whether you win or lose anymore. The only thing I want is for you to come out of Maya's body right now! Dying, but oh my gosh! Well then.
Not ready. Not ready to go.
Maya! She's alive!
Nick! Sis!
Help! Hopefully she's just tired, right?
Now then, I assume you are a real Irish?
Yes! I was just rescued from the sacred cavern.
I must say you and your twin sister are indeed identical from what I can see.
Yeah, she does. He does. He catches Maya. If you haven't seen the anime, go check it out right now. It's freaking awesome. And they even have like a super cool bloopers reel you can look up.
In any case, it appears that everything has finally been cleared up. Mr. Go, what happened to Dahlia Hawthorne?
If you ask me, Your Honor, it looks like she went back to hell. To the hell she came from.
It seems that Mr. Fay wasn't the only victim of this crime.
Beans! Right now? Okie doke. I will be right back with those beans. Gonna go grab them. I apologize for the Wait there, I have returned with the beans! And more agua. Alright, so let's get the beans wheel up. And give it a big ol' spin. What do we got? Barf or peach? Ugh. Alright, well, let me see if I can find one. Oop. Alright, I think I got one. It's kind of this translucent orangish yellow with red speckles. Well, down the hatch. That was barf. Ugh. There's a taste I remember. It tastes like the weird pizza lollipop dum-dums. Trauma! Alright. Let's go ahead and continue onward. Nope, I have to eat them. I have to get them down. Alright. Now to continue.
It seems that Misty Fanny wasn't the only victim of this crime.
Yes, I do have to eat them. It is part of the redeem, part of the challenge thingy. It'd just be a waste. I won't vomit. It's just a very, very bad taste. And now my breath is gonna stink. Woo! Alright, anyway.
My opinion as well as the one powerfully were also victims of this wicked and selfish plan.
Yes, Your Honor.
The tragedy of Medium Valley has finally come to an end, it seems. It will be best for everyone, and no further attempt was made to channel the spirit again.
Your Honor?
Yes, what is it?
About this whole spirit medium thing. It's almost weird how uncomfortable you seem to be with the new with the concept now.
To be frank, my younger brother is quite judgmental. He often criticizes me for not studying hard enough. That's why I made a concerted effort to study up on the current channeling technique.
Hey! Isn't that the New Year's issue of Oh Occult?
I have seen quite a few things in my many years on this bench. And in all that time, I finally learned this one thing. Each case is different, and takes place in its own world, if you will. In order to fully understand that world, first we have to immerse ourselves in it completely. And that's where my brother and I used to differ.
Never thought of it that way.
At any rate, it's time to pass judgment in this case of Iris of Izakura Temple.
Objection!
What?
You're a little too fast for that gavel, Your Honor.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Godo?
This trial. It isn't over yet. That's what he means.
What?
Right. Remember what Miss Evil Spirit said in her testimony?
Huh? Dahlia's testimony?
I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom and... It's strange, but... I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that. I think I was stabbed.
Just as Dahlia Hawthorne was about to attack Maya, she was stabbed and killed by someone.
Yes, that's right.
The person that was ultimately killed was the spirit medium that channeled Dahlia. Elysium. No, Misty Faye. But who killed her? We still don't know who did it.
This isn't over?
Unless someone else is found guilty. The accused is still on trial. We can't let her walk until there is evidence that proves her innocence.
Wait!
Right, this court isn't prepared for any further testimony.
The prosecution is ready to call our final witness.
Final witness?
This one will clear up the whole mystery. The mystery of who killed Misty Faye.
Indeed.
Is it really all right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Of course it's all right, Madam Attorney.
Very well then. Who's this final witness?
Huh. Isn't it obvious? There's one person who saw the whole event and will put the final dagger in this case.
Someone who saw the murder took place.
The very person who saw her mother killed in front of her own eyes.
You mean Maya? You can't! She can't testify after what she's just been through?
We need to find the truth. The prosecution calls Maya Faye to the witness stand.
I will.
That was Maya?
But first, we'll take a brief recess.
That was Maya? She's still there. What?
We'll have to wait for Miss Faye to recover before summoning her.
What is she doing there, then?
Once we receive the doctor's permission, we will proceed with the trial.
Oh wait, no, that was... I'm getting confused. There's two of them. That was, Iris. Maybe it's time to end things here. Let me wrap this up.
Hey, Wright. I've got something to say to you. So listen up.
What is it?
I don't think much of you as a lawyer. It's always the same with you. You somehow managed to just squeak by without even a faint understanding of the case. Some beautiful woman always seems to come dashing in at the last minute to save you.
You've got some nerve!
But that's not going to happen this time. This time, you're gonna have to do this by yourself.
That's enough! As good as now in recess!
February 10th, 2:56 p.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby number 1.
I'm truly sorry about everything. You were working so hard to defend me. But I was missing all day. And we didn't even have a chance to talk.
She's right. When I met Iris at the training hall yesterday, they had already switched places. And Iris was inside the sacred cavern.
I wanted to at least be in the defendant's box today to root you on.
Well, it wasn't your fault. You were locked up this whole time. There's something more important than that, though. I have to ask. Why did you help your sister out as much as you did?
Huh?
If you had tried to get help at the Sacred Cavern yesterday, you wouldn't have spent an entire day locked up in there.
My sister. I felt sorry for her. She was abandoned by her mother, and never got any love from her father either.
Yes, but it was the same for you too, wasn't it?
Yes, but at least I had Sister Bikini, who was like a mother to me. If only Dahlia had come with me to Hazakura Temple. I always loved her. Dahlia was always so smart, so strong. And she never complained about anything. That's why I promised her that I would help her.
Are you talking about the fake kidnapping case 11 years ago?
Yes. I wanted to be useful to her in some way. As usual, I was too cowardly. The last minute, I ran away. Because of that, Dahlia's stepsister, Valerie, ended up...
That was the case that wounded Mia so badly.
Things didn't end there, of course. Some people suspected that my sister was involved in the murder.
Some people? You must mean...
Yes, 2 defense attorneys. Mia Fey and Diego Armando. After poisoning Armando, I was getting too close to learning the truth. why I even tried to kill the person who had unknowingly hid the poison for her. You!
That's right. Iris, there's one more thing I have to ask you.
Yes? What is it?
On the night of the murder, the person that cleaned up the corpse of the victim, at least you knew, was it really you?
Yes. It was me. That night, after I rang the lights out bell, I went back to my room. Around 10:30, I received a call on my cell phone.
There's a problem. Come to the inner temple right away.
I got on snowmobile and headed to the inner temple. What?
The path to the inner temple was cut off, right?
Exactly.
We can't just leave the body here. So you've got to do this exactly as I say. Got it?
It was me. I was the one that received their body. The murder weapon had been left in her body so she wouldn't bleed so much. The staff that Mr. Glees always held.
I knew it. So the actual murder weapon was the staff.
Yes, that's right. I brought the body back to the Sakura Temple on the snowmobile.
But why? Why did you alter the body?
I didn't want anyone to know that the staff was the murder weapon. I didn't want to leave anything that would lead back to Misty Faye. So I dressed her in a robe that stabbed her with the Shitishino. I wiped the blood off the blade. I wiped the blood off the staff's blade and left it next to her on the ground.
Iris, just tell me. Why? You have to ask so many one last things. Just tell me one last thing. Tell me the name of the person that called you cell phone. The real killer.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I can't do it. I can't say who did it.
I see. Victim staff updated in court record.
Defendant!
Yes?
The judge is calling you. He wants you to see his... He wants you to see...
Huh? Am I reading this right? He wants you to see you in his chamber. I don't know. It could be grammarly correct. I think I should have said yeah, that's definitely a typo. He wants you to see him in his chambers. He wants you to see you. Does he have like a giant mirror or something?
He has some questions about Dahlia Hawthorne.
All right. Well then, I'll see you later.
Yeah, that definitely was a typo. And it's not just my dyslexia.
There's something I want to tell you.
Oh, okay. Something she wants to tell me? So it's true. I was cooperated with a real killer? Maybe even from the very beginning. Phoenix! Mia! How's Maya doing?
Physically, I'm not worried. She'll recover completely. But emotionally, she's been hurt very badly by this case.
I see. You don't mean... She's learned who Elise Dunim really was?
Yes. I went to the medical office and talked with her. I told her everything I knew.
But why?
Maya's stronger than you think. I knew she could take it. All of it.
What do you mean by that?
I want you to figure that answer out by yourself. The trial is about to restart. The real killer. Do you know who it is yet?
Iris wouldn't tell me who called her, but I think that just maybe I know who it was. That night, the victim was killed in the garden of the Inner Temple, and the criminal was just there by accident. Which means the killer knew of Dahlia's plan from the very beginning.
And one more thing. The victim was moved to the Sakura Temple side by a pendulum. In other words, the criminal couldn't cross the bridge. That means they were stuck on the Inner Temple side for almost an entire day.
Exactly. So the culprit was someone that wasn't in Hazakura Temple the following day.
That's as much help as I can give you. The rest of the battle is yours to win. Or lose.
Okay, I've got it. Thank you, Mia. Finally. It's almost time to bring this case to an end. What exactly did Maya see anyway? And who was it that actually killed Misty Faye? Whoever it was, I have to prove it. Me, all by myself. To be continued. And this is where we will stop. Because it is way past the time I usually stop. Yes, we will save. And hopefully Thursday should be our final day of Ace Attorney. Or this Ace Attorney. Not saying that I won't ever play it again. Like any other Ace Attorney spin-off thingies. But you know. Just not this one. Alright, in that case, let us head over to the crypt. Well, that certainly was something. But for now, let us see who there is to raid. Alright, so we either have Retroset Joe playing some more Mio, Memories in Orbit, or we have Stinky Ray playing more Dark Souls. So let me go ahead and put up a poll to see who we raid. And going up now. Who are we rating? Choose now! Halfway through our time. Alright, it looks like we're going to be rating Joe. So let me go ahead and get that set up. And with that being said, thank you guys, and we'll see all of you next time. Bye-bye! Come on.